Hey everybody, welcome to Fat Kings Friday for May the 8th. I am back out in the boonies. It is Andrew VSG Spike.
And I am VSG Warrior, and we are two big dudes chewing the fat, trying to get lean. What's on the menu tonight, Andrew?
Well, the menu tonight, we're getting back to our, what we wanted to talk about with the props to the pre-ops kind of series that we wanted to get into, talking about pre-op stage. I know we touched on it, was it like a month ago?
Yeah, right.
Something about a month or so back when we did our first one, and then I had to move and everything else. So, getting back into that, I know initially when we first did this, we talked about just finding finding the right surgeon and kind of going through what's going to be the right procedure for you. So, kind of building on top of that, we want to get back into the series and talk about it and kind of get some advice from all the veterans. And also, any questions from folks that are going to be watching. What do you do during what we call the waiting game? And you want to touch on what we kind of figured, what we talk about, and what we mean by the waiting game at this point?
Well, you got a couple of things you could be waiting on. You could be waiting on an insurance issue where they may make you wait 3 months or 6 months. You have to go to classes. Sometimes they make you lose a certain amount of weight first. So that's all within it. And then there's the mental aspect of it where you've got to try to get all your ducks in a row before surgery and really try to make some changes and, get ready for the lifestyle that you're going to be leading after you actually get the surgery. So that's all part of the waiting game.
No, and that's exactly. I mean, there's that period for some people with. A lot of times the waiting game really just involves what your insurance requires you to do before you can set up the surgery date. So for some people, it's 3 months. For others, like myself, it was 6 months. And then there are those that, forego the insurance route and really set it up through do it themselves. And I know a lot of people have gone down to Mexico, and that really doesn't revolve much of any waiting other than just the scheduling yourself and a few things that you would have to do ahead of time. So we may not necessarily be touching on that because that's not something that Walter and I had done. But
yeah, I don't even cut you off, but I always find that interesting on how it seems to me like just how quick the Mexico process is. Seems like it could really be detrimental to you, but people seem to do fine with it. So,
no, I mean, the first person I always think of when talk about going to Mexico for that is Lessa Sarah.
Yeah,
Lessa Sarah, because I mean, she was a rock star through the whole process, and that's how she had hers done. And so, I mean, it works. I'm definitely not saying that's not a route to take if that's what you need to do. By all means, sure. I mean, there are success stories with it. But it's just not something that I know you or I had to go through at this point. So more of the insurance waiting.
Yeah, we can't really speak too much about that, but there's plenty of great surgeons like Dr. Alvarez has that channel. He seems like a really capable and so it's. I just think that the only reason why it might be a little bit different or difficult might be because of it seems to me like you don't really have a long process to get yourself acclimated to living the lifestyle, but I guess it's like, trial by fire, jump in the water and see if you swim, because after you get that surgery, your ass is going to have to readjust and figure it out. So it seems to work. So.
No, agreed. So, I mean, before we start really diving into that, first, Angie in Indiana said, "Hey guys." So, hey, Angie.
Angie.
And Rob H is in. So what's up? Starting to get a couple folks in here commenting. Good to see. So real quick, because I know you didn't get a chance to post this week. So before we kind of get into the meat and potatoes of the topic, how was your week so far?
So far so good. This is actually today, May 7th, is the day last year, May 7th, 2014. I went for my very first nutritionist appointment. And I weighed in at 500 pounds. and today I was, what is it, 276. So yeah, so things are moving and shaking. So, but it just brings it home to me. Like, it was May 7th. That was the first day I went for my appointment.
Dude, how
So,
crazy
and
is that? Go. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, and I wound up, I didn't actually have a 6-month waiting period, but it turned out to be a 6-month waiting period with the difference in insurance, and then with what happened with my dad passing, and then me not being ready, and I wound up, so it gave me the extra time to really. My whole focus was to try to lose as much weight as possible. When I got on that table, I was so afraid of any kind of complication and being that heavy. So I just was hell bent on trying to make as much strides as I could to be as light as I could be on that table and make it easier for them with shrink the liver and really do the best I could do. So
Sure.
so that was I wound up actually waiting 6 months. Technically, I got the surgery in October.
Okay.
I mean in November actually. So
Yeah, so it became that period regardless. Dude, is that crazy
Yeah.
just to think that in a year you've damn near cut yourself in half?
yeah, it's pretty freaking crazy.
How
man.
much of a mind? That's gonna be a mind fuck.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, and I'm trying not to get the hardest part now is really not to pat myself on the back and not get too happy and just I really want to keep going as far as I can. So, but it is, when I stop to think about it, it's pretty mind blowing. Yeah.
Well, you do need to, especially on a day like today where it was the 1 year since you've done that, you do need to give yourself a moment to really, you do need to pat yourself on the back and congratulate yourself, because just to realize how far you've come in 365 days. That's
It's
unfreaking real.
Well, thank you, brother. I'd much rather pat myself on the front. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Hello, hi-oh.
But you're not going to pat yourself on the front. You're going to fap yourself on the front.
Oh, okay. That guy. But yeah, no, I appreciate it, and it is wild, and
Sure.
sometimes, when I get, I occasionally get these really nice, responses to things about me being inspiration to people, and it really touches me. So, I'm very pleased with how everything is going and how everything, turned out.
Awesome. Dude, that's
So-
very cool. Very cool.
How about yourself, brother? How's your week going?
Not too bad. Definitely getting more settled in now. Another full week under my belt here. Settling in is really probably the best way to put it. I'm still trying to be active. I haven't been as active this week as I was the week before, but I still am trying to go out for walks, get outside as much as I can.
I saw your update with the long country walk there. That's pretty cool.
Oh, it's so freaking nice, especially when I do that. I did that Sunday morning, so I think I did that. Well, it's easy to do that first thing in the morning by myself, especially when Ryan's home, so she can be there with Scarlett, and I'll just go on my own. But yeah, it's so freaking awesome out. Like I said, it's so quiet. I mean, all I hear right now are the birds behind me, and that's it. Every once in a while, you'll see a truck drive by, but other than that, that's really about it. So
yeah, it looks so peaceful.
But beyond that, I have found myself snacking a little bit more this week, so I need to kind of put the kibosh on that. That's why I'm definitely looking forward to hopefully soon getting back to work, because I'm home around the food, and I find myself picking at things here and there, and try not to, but it just kind of just happens, unfortunately. So some good leads on some positions, so hopefully we hear something good in the next week or so. But yeah, I mean, all in all, I can't complain as a whole. So
Yeah, that's good.
did you? We talked about it a little bit. How much of 50 Shades last night did you watch?
Oh, I watched an awful lot of it. I mean, I scanned through the second half of it. But my God, that was so funny. When I tell you, when TJ originally left that thing, right? I'm thinking, oh, what did TJ do to piss this guy off, right? But as the thing's going on, I'm like, all right, I mean, I've heard crazier, but the guy's fairly crazy. And then when I find out, because I grew up on the Jerky Boys, and so like this guy's not that crazy. I can say a lot worse than this guy. But the fact that he calls him like 80 times, and then last night was just priceless. That was really funny. So if you have not seen 50 Shades of Maintenance, I think it's about the 120 mark, 130 mark.
It's right around the 140 mark, because that's where I started watching, and I watched for about the first half an hour, and then I started to skip ahead, bouncing, because I saw it was like 3 hours and 40 some minutes. I'm like, oh good God, I don't have that much time, and I'm not even working. But I actually jumped to about 145, and I must have hit the nail on the head, because the first thing I see is TJ on the phone, and I hear that dude on the phone. I'm like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. I couldn't freaking believe it.
Was incredible.
It was so funny.
Like comedians don't laugh at other comedians, but that was fucking when he's like, no, Jay, I think you're a handsome man, Jay. I'd really like to go out with you sometime, Jay. And he didn't say no. Jay did not say no. So that was really funny.
Right.
And I mean, the whole thing, I work at McDonald's. Can you help me get a job? The whole thing was great. That I have to give it up for that. That was funny and really worth watching.
Yeah, he definitely
always watch anyway. But that above and beyond that, outside of weight loss surgery, that was just funny. Really good entertainment right there. That was great.
Without a doubt.
So check that out. And since we're here right now, and Lace will plug the Naked Truth. He said Cher Bear is going to be on there, and I love Cher Bear. She's a great woman, awesome. Really great person. I'll spend the time with her. And it's what is it, Mandy? Mandy Revised Army Wife?
Revised Army Wife. I think you're right. She just moved to just north of Herndon, where I used to work when I just moved out from when I was in Northern Virginia. So if I was there for maybe a few more months, I probably would have met up with her at some point. But she moved in right before I moved out. So it was. And I watched a lot of that show last week. Thanks again. They gave me a quick shout out. So, but yeah, no, it was cool. It was cool because they had fun with all the getting a group of RNYers, which is funny because you don't realize it, because there's so many more people getting VSG that to get a couple people that have had the RNY, you would think would be pretty easy, but that was one of the first few times that it was strictly people who have had RNY.
Missed that show. I meant to check it out, but I missed it. I should check it out though, because it's. I like to hear from the RNY perspective sometime, and try to get a feel for it in case people have questions about it. It's nice to get an idea of what their real experience with RNY is.
Oh, absolutely. I agree. Couldn't agree more. So kind of going back to, on topic with the waiting game itself. So you ended up waiting for about 6 months just by default with what had happened. But did you have a time frame that you had to wait because of insurance?
Yeah, there was it was a 3-month waiting period initially, and then I did that, was ready to go, and then my father passed,
right? And
so then it just became a matter of a comfort level for myself. Nothing wrong with the place that I had originally chosen, but just a personal thing for me. Just if I'm being honest, the clientele, the patients that I was hanging out in the waiting room with, and the wait times were fucking unbelievable. But they just didn't seem to be saying all of the things that I saw in these videos, which is, it's a tool, and, you have to get yourself, you have to make the changes. All these women, and it was 99.9% women getting the surgery where I was, and it was about 95% lap bands. And every word that was coming out of their mouth was like, oh, you're going to see me. I'm going to look so good in a bikini. Like, they're talking to each other. They're showing pictures like, this girl just got the surgery. Look how good she looks. Like, and I wasn't hearing like an emphasis on what we always talk about, which is getting your mind right and how it's a tool. And if you don't do the right thing, you know, it can only do so much. So I just felt like they were uninformed. And then what does that say about the program? Like, doesn't necessarily reflect badly on the program. It just made me uncomfortable.
Sure.
And then, so I don't know. It'd been this like nagging suspicion because I had never even seen the surgeon in the whole time that I was going, the 3 months for the nutritionist. I had questions, and you know, they were fielded by you know, a PA. So I just wasn't comfortable. So it took me a little bit of time to figure out what to do next, where to go next. So I had to do some research to find the surgeon that I eventually went with and was extremely happy with. So that's what took up the remainder of the other 3 months, because then luckily I didn't have to just like restart the whole process. They allowed me to sort of kind of, you know, an abbreviated version of what other people would have had to go through if they started with them. So that was a good thing too. So
good.
How about yourself? I'm trying to think back to your early experiences, but how long did you have to wait?
Mine was officially, it was a full 6 month period. So,
okay.
And mine involved, so I mean, my first time I ever went to the surgical group, I met with the nurse, I met with my surgeon, and then I met with the surgical coordinator. So, I mean, thankfully, when I went, I had everything laid out. I knew exactly, you know, what to expect, when to expect it, what to do when, what's required by insurance. So they, you know, thankfully, the 6 month requirement was pretty light. It didn't require what I've seen some people, where some people had to have like so many pounds or so much of a percentage that they had to lose before surgery. I never had that kind of a requirement. It was really just 6 months worth of classes, and you know, then we can submit the insurance. So I did a monthly class. I did a once a month class where I met. There were several, you know, other pre-op people, and then I'm always met with the nutritionist. So we talked about different stages in pre-op, a lot about the eating, and you know, but then we talked about what to expect with the procedure. You know, the success rates of one procedure versus another. So I mean, thankfully, the only time I like I said, I met my surgeon the first time, but then it wasn't until I got into like the last month where there were other appointments I had to go to, where I had to meet with I already was planned to meet with the surgeon anyway, which was fine. So I mean, if I did have a question, I could always, you know, meet with him if I needed to. So I mean, it was pretty straightforward. It worked out really well. It was a very smooth period, albeit long, because did I want to wait 6 months? Of course not. You know, I was ready to go, but you know, obviously I'm not ready to go shell out everything, you know, the whole 100% of the cost for it. So it's what was required, and that's, you know, what I had to do. So be it. Yeah.
And the process is different for every insurance too. So it's probably a good idea to actually call your insurance to find out, because sometimes the programs, just to try to save time, you know, and they'll do a standardized type thing, or they might suggest a certain way of doing things, but it's not necessarily what your insurance actually wants. Like they might not actually, your insurance might only recommend 3 months, yet this particular place might be telling you need 6 months.
Right. That can definitely happen.
So you got, you know, it's good to follow up with your insurance and really find out what their requirements are too. You know, just you know, don't always trust the facility, because you know, it's I'm not saying, you know, that they're doing it on purpose, but it is a way for them to kind of milk out more money if they're going to make you pay for 3 more months worth of visits when your insurance will cover it for 3. You know, so it's always a good idea to actually call and find out from your insurance company what's required for you.
And what was funny, I don't know about you, but I mean, now it's a little bit different for me now that obviously I've moved. I will actually be eventually seeking out a specialist so I can do some follow-up appointments at some point. But it was funny. The first time I went to the surgical group and did all of my meetings. One of the people that I met with was I won't say a personal trainer, but let's just say, a fitness coordinator. I met with him, and then that was it. I never met with him again. Ever since I was there with that group, never once was it scheduled or planned to meet with the fitness coordinator. I did a couple of, some during post-op, I met with either the surgeon or a nurse practitioner, and once or twice I met with the nutritionist, but that was it. Did you have kind of a similar? Because I told them what I was doing at the time, which I was doing a lot of swimming. So I let him know what I was doing at the time, what he recommended doing, but then that was it. It was like, here you go, then you're on your way.
Yeah, no, I mean, actually, like, that sounds exciting to actually even meet the guy once would have been cool. But I mean, that's really early on in the process. So that's almost like pointless, like they should bring it in like at like 3 months or something where, like they say, hey, what are you doing for fitness? Because no, I had nothing like that at all. I met with no fitness people whatsoever. And I think would be a really good idea because like when, once you get past that first month of surgery, where you're healing up and everything, but then maybe like somewhere around 2 or 3 months, they should make it mandatory to meet someone like that.
No, I agree. I think that really would be the case, especially, I mean, it was good to meet up with them at first because I can talk about,
car.
Yeah, it's a car.
I see a car.
I couldn't tell if it was a car or a train eventually. I know you've got all sorts of traffic. My only traffic is the occasional, the occasional tractor or car or truck. But then every once in a while there would be a train that goes by. But no, it was good that I met with him initially because it was something I could talk about and what I was doing at least during the pre-op phase that I could do to help myself. But then it would have been great closer to post-op to kind of go over and review everything and then talk to them again about, well, what would be safe for me to do during that initial, post-op phase. Because I know for most people, it's pretty much the same for those first 6 weeks. You can't do any heavy lifting or any major exertion. So for the most part, my 6 weeks post was really just a lot of walking. But at this point, I mean, I can really, go gung-ho. So, but it's really what works for you and, what they recommend. But I never had a recommendation. So I really had to go and seek it out and kind of figure it out on my own, which was fine because at this point I've really just done what's worked for me. But, for those, it could be a very helpful tool. It could be, a person to have available, which, like I said, most surgical groups may have that. It was just funny how little I reached out to them. So.
Yeah, I think that would be a really awesome thing to do. I can't remember who it was. If it was Kim Can Do It or somebody. I remember somebody mentioning in a video that they got some sort of either voucher or gym membership or something as part of the package.
Oh, really?
I remember. I could be crazy, but I could swear I remember somebody saying that, and at the time going, "Wow, what a great idea! What a great thing that would be."
Sure.
But yeah, the emphasis just seems to be on like you get the surgery and then good luck to you.
Exactly, and that's really kind of what it's like. It's especially with the first group that you met with. It really kind of seemed to me like you were just basically a number. That was really about it.
Yeah, and it's like, good luck storming the castle. Have fun storming the castle. That's it's like, you get that surgery and you're on your own. Here's a booklet.
Yep.
So I mean that's why videos are as priceless as they are, and that's why newbies keep coming to YouTube, and I know I was one of them. Because you can't get the same practical information, and just these programs they're good for a certain amount of things, and obviously if you got a skilled surgeon, that's what you want. You want the guy to do a really good job or women. There might be women surgeons now, but no, but seriously, I mean, obviously you want them to be, good at what they do as far as the surgery goes. But I feel it's the same. It's almost the same way as like, getting your license, your driver's license. You can, you get your driver's license and you basically don't know shit. You haven't driven on a highway, like, so it's like,
yep.
It's important to like, they really need to have a more well-rounded total, fitness level thing would be really cool. But there's no standardized, nationwide thing for this, I guess. So set of standards. So.
Right. No, I agree. Now, a couple of things Rob mentioned. He said, my doctor's team did all the legwork with my insurance, only had to do a 3-month wait with meetings with the dietitian. So kind of similar to what I had to go through, but he just only had to do 3 months. He said it also helped me. It also helped that my wife had VSG 2 months before. That's awesome. I mean, definitely when you're going through it together, that close together to one another, especially, I'm not sure how far out Rob is at this point, but, to go through the process pretty much at the same point is really great. Now, unfortunately, Angie looks like she's having a bit of a time. I had to do a 6-month supervised diet. It's been 9 months now, and my insurance is saying it's not detailed enough. So I have to go back to the doctor this week to see if they can submit a letter and fix it.
Well, that really sucks.
6-month supervised diet, and it's still not detailed enough? Jesus.
Is that like some sort of like error on the center's fault? Like they didn't detail enough and somebody forgot to sign that you were there, kind of thing? Like,
right, exactly. I mean, I'm wondering what, especially if it's a supervised diet, you would think that the center would be, on top of it and signing off on it. Yeah, and you would think within that, with what, with the area, that, Rob's 4.5 months out. So yeah, I mean, she says she's going to keep on fighting for it, and hopefully everything works out with that. She's, trying to get that letter submitted so they can get it fixed. But good God, man, if you did a 6-month supervised diet, and you would think that the center would know the local insurance and requirements, so it shouldn't be a shocker to them on what this insurance company is requiring.
We would hope so. That's really terrible, Angie. Sorry.
That's rough. Yeah, definitely keep us posted on that, because that's harsh. So, family doctor just put her weight only on it. So, but if you're doing a supervised diet, wouldn't you think that you would have, kind of a list of, to me, when it's a supervised diet along those lines, you would keep there would be some sort of detail that the insurance or the center would hold on to, as far as what you're normally eating on a regular basis. So that's even that alone is just, oh my God, it makes my head hurt thinking about that, because that's a lot of freaking note taking.
Yeah, that's really shitty. That, I mean, shit. I mean, 6 months is bad enough, and now you're into 9 months and still counting. That sucks. Oh, you said a family doctor just put the weight only. Yeah, that's
right.
Yeah, it's bad. Getting dark out there.
Nah, somebody's walking up above me on the deck.
Oh, okay.
I hear somebody above me. Oh, it's me. You just don't hear the other guy now. I have my headphones in this time. The roommates upstairs.
Okay. So another part of the waiting game per se, which I think is probably the most important, especially because, hey, if you're gonna have to wait 6 months anyway, you might as well try to use that time to get your head right in the right place and really try to get yourself ready for what's to come, post-op. Because I found that to be the most valuable thing that I did, pre-op, was to really start to change my habits and really try to live like I already had the sleeve as much as I could,
Sure.
because it's night and day. I mean, like once you actually get, whatever surgery you're going to get, you're going to obviously have real restriction. But the first things I did was giving up, sodas and bread, and really cutting out the carbs and the sugars, and I noticed such a big difference right away as soon as I was able to do that. And it wasn't easy. It never is. I mean, but for me, the hardest thing was always keeping the weight off. So once I ever really able to pretty much diet for a good stretch, a couple of months at a time, sometimes 6 months, maybe even, like 7-8 months. But I never did what I did for this, because I really felt like the surgery was going to be the last resort. If I'm going to go and mutilate myself, I want it to be, done. I want to be done with this shit. I don't want to be one of those people that puts it all back on. And, that's my main focus right now is to never go back. Will it fluctuate a little, when I'm 3 years out? Yeah, of course it will. But
Sure.
Hopefully never to a point where it's that, insane again. And I made, I really made a commitment to it, and because I really saw the results that people were getting, and I really saw that it's a lifesaver and a game changer. So if you're going to commit to it, I think you should really give it all you got, especially during that pre-op phase where, and especially if you are someone who is as big as I am, like you and I both, you were 480, right? So
484, yep.
Yeah, 484. So that's no joke. And you get into a level where, the surgeon has to move your liver and stuff to get to your stomach and to get, and you want to try to give them as much assistance as you can by losing as much weight as you can. So that's just my 2 cents worth on that. As far as if you're going to wait 6 months anyway, you might as well start really using that time.
No, absolutely. I agree. And quick newbie just jumped in. Mom and Me VSG just jumped in. Wanted to say hi. She said excited to stumble across the live discussion. So, Mom and Me, are you just kind of getting started? Where are you at this point as far as your are you in the pre-op, or kind of comment below and let us know where you're at in it? Because I'm glad you kind of joined in on this, because that's for me, especially during the pre-op, was like you said, it kind of, you get into that mindset, you get yourself prepared. At the same time, for me, that was where I did a lot of my research as well. I did a lot of research online. I watched a ton of YouTube videos of all sorts of folks. So that was really where I got to dive in and really prepare for it as much as possible and see the ups and downs of it. Regardless of where people were at different stages. So, I was kind of the same way. I may not necessarily have had cut completely to the level that you had as far as the diet. I did what I could, but I was really focused on fitness more than anything. And now I'm, working much more on obviously the right food choices, because the fitness has come and gone with the changes that I've been going through, but the food obviously something you need to hammer down and really stick to as well. So she's man, okay, we're talking pre-op, and she's one that her daughter and her are scheduled. They're going June 2nd in Mexico.
Ole! Mexico, viva Mexico.
That's awesome. Unfortunately, we were talking about that early on, that we said that unfortunately that's not something that Walter and I had done. We obviously had to go. We went through insurance and everything else here in the States. But that's awesome, because we mentioned it before. I don't know if when you joined in on this, Mom and Me, but we know that there's a lot of folks out there that have had success. I know the first one we always talk to is, talk about Sarah Spano, Less of Sarah. She was definitely one of those, quintessential people that had success and really did well going to Mexico. And right on. I mean, that's great. So June 2nd. So, I mean, shit, you're right around the corner at this point. So you want to talk about a mental game? That mental game, especially, like, how was it for you that The laugh, ja ja ja, yeah yeah yeah. What was I going to say? So with it kind of where they are at this point, how was that last month for you? Knowing like you that last period of time you had it scheduled, and you were within kind of that home stretch before you were going to go under.
Yeah, there's a little bit of lag, so by the time she gets the response, but. And so, did she just say that her daughter as well? Yeah, the daughter and her are also going. So that's really cool.
Mm-hmm. No, but I was saying that last month before the surgery, how was that for you, like mentally? Because for me, I mean, that's really where I was in that home stretch. So.
Yeah, for me, as soon as I had a date, shit got real. I mean, and I made that mistake of watching every horrible botched surgery, every complication video. I binge watched like for 2 days, every possible complication video out there. And that was like the stupidest thing I've ever done in my life.
Oh God, you don't bet Dan, you're scared yourself out of it.
Oh my God, I totally did. I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? And especially because I was getting, like I had lost 112 pounds. So I was getting results, but I knew I couldn't keep it off. I knew it. So no matter how, I could have lost a lot, even more weight and it's still been like, you know what? I need the surgery to keep it off. So.
Agreed. No, and I was kind of the same way where when I had that date, I was like, oh man, here we go. Like, it was really kind of getting everything prepped and ready to go. And, not necessarily, I want to say second guessing myself, but like, I rethought everything. I'm like, this is what I'm going to do. These are the kind of changes that I'm going to make, just kind of realizing what you're about to undertake. I mean, and for me, I think it was for you as well, but this was the one and only surgery that I've ever had. So, and on top of it, that last month was also really, really busy because I had a lot of other, those last final pre-op, steps I had to take, the upper endoscopy and, go through a couple other additional procedures to make sure everything was set for surgery day. I mean, and that was just, yeah, it was definitely reflection time for me at that point. So.
Yeah, one of these days I'm going to post. I actually made this video where I was just like completely like confused and what am I going to do this? What am I doing? Like, and then I didn't post it because like I was going to wait till the next day. And I'm like, because I didn't want to scare people with it because I really thought like, but at the same time, I just wanted to bring it to people's attention. So then the one that I made, which was like, it was like Oktoberfest. It was like around October.
Okay.
And because I thought it was important to at least tell the truth about it. Because for me, I thought it was even more impressive because for me, it was a no-brainer. Like, you're 500 pounds, you got to get the surgery. And then, I had a lot of success. But even if you were, I mean, I was as gung-ho as you could be about it. But then I had this little, moment of doubt, this moment, so I think it's important that everybody, it's not everybody's experience, but it would be perfectly normal if that did happen to you, and it's what was also difficult for me is I watched a lot of videos and I saw that you really want to try to include, anybody who's going to be supporting you. So family members, your significant others, whoever's going to be on board with this, and they need to know what's going to be happening to you physically, but also chemically. And there's a lot of physiological changes that are going to be going on. And, the consensus seemed to be you want to tell people like, hey, I'm going to need more than just, can you hand me that? I dropped the remote on the floor. Can you hand it to me? You're going to need some emotional support too, because it's a very long process. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And you're going to be going through a lot of changes. And this is really for couples too. I mean, significant others, they're going to have to really understand the things that happen to you. And, that's where, you get into, then you start to, I mean, I think it happens even during the waiting game, as you talked about watching all these videos. And a lot of people, they get into the Facebook thing and they start getting into the community even before surgery, because they're making connections. So, there's a lot of these little pitfalls that can happen after surgery or whatever. You get, it becomes a whole new world to you. You get opened up to this whole new world, whether it be YouTube or Facebook, or even some of the forums out there. Sure. Like obesity help. Fuck you, obesity help. Okay?
Now we can officially start laying in, even though we're gonna be there. Exactly. Right. Go for it. Go for it.
I'm just kidding. I love obesity help. They saved my life. No, they didn't. But no, they were great. I mean, they're a great forum. We wanted to talk there. All right, you didn't want us there, and I don't want to talk about it. And I just need a moment because I'm gonna cry. But I am happy for
yourselves. I'm a little verklempt.
I'm verklempt, but I am happy for Candy Pants, Pam.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. I will definitely check that out.
I think she's the tits. She's so funny. She's really funny. If you've never seen her videos, check them out because she is a riot. And I remember watching her. I remember that season. The first time I saw her video, I'm like, where do I know this girl from?
Right.
And then she like talks about it. I'm like, oh, that's right, because that's when I used to watch that shit show. And one of these days I'm gonna get my buddy Marvin Panchito Bear, and we're gonna talk about that freaking audition we had at the freaking Biggest Loser. Yes. But ever since then, that was it for me. And I loved that show, and I really was like supportive of the show. And ultimately, yes, they probably do help people on some level. But the more and more you talk, you see people who are on the show, the experience is just really kind of horrible. So. But she's a cool person, and I'd really like to kind of hear what she has to say. So, if I have to lose to her, I would graciously do that because she's a pretty cool person. So
absolutely, that'll definitely be probably one of if not the only talk that I plan on attending, because I think that would be a lot of fun. But then we'll still have plenty of stuff that we'll do on our own. So you should. I just thought of this because how far away?
Hello.
One.
Did you wake up?
You. Okay. I need to be quiet.
Okay. So I don't have to whisper. Okay.
I don't have to whisper. I have the headphones on, so you can yell. So
okay, but I don't,
because the window for our bed is right there, so I guess I have to keep it down a little bit. I'm sorry.
Okay, it's okay.
But
okay, honey, baby.
I'll just try not to yell so much. I'll talk. But no, what was I going to say? Shit, lost my train of thought. Fuck, I totally forgot. All right, well, let me go back to, because it looks like Jim finally decided to show up. He finally got done watching the 4-hour marathon of 50 Shades, so he finally decided to join us and watch. So, let's see, Mom and me. They're working on trying to get better habits, trying to work on habits for the past few months. It's been tough. I've established some new habits and prep for the new way of life, kind of similar to what you were talking about. Just trying to get everything ready ahead of time. She's learning to like Greek yogurt. I was like, wait, Greek yogurt, man, that's because you're all about it. You've got your Faye all the time. I'm usually having a Greek yogurt every morning. So, yeah, you got that stuff is just awesome. So.
Yeah, good protein, can't beat it. Really good for you.
She mentioned she has plain with peach mango Crystal Light. I've never thought of putting Crystal Light into like a plain yogurt. I may actually give that a shot sometime because I've got a bunch of those little like flavor packet little things you can put into a bottle of water and shake it up.
Yeah, I never thought of that either.
No. Angie said, hey, I watched all the positive videos and then a few negative ones. Then I watched actual surgeries being done. She said the important thing is to educate yourself, and there are a lot of great personal journeys on here. I agree. There are so many people that you can talk to. There's so many journeys that you can watch online. You can, and then the Facebook community is just amazing. There's so many people that you can talk to and message and reach out to all the time for that. So, Rob H., our doctor, said that as a couple we would do better because we would support each other and inspire each other. And that's certainly it. I mean, my wife has been a huge help. I mean, I let her know everything. She was along the ride with me. She came to a couple of my appointments as well. So, you know, she knows everything about this, and she's all in it, and, you know, couldn't be more supportive of it. So I can't thank her enough for that. But yeah, you do want to make sure to include, like you said, include those people that are going to be with you and around you, because, you know, there's a lot that's going to change with you, and they need to be aware of, you know, what those changes are going to be. So,
And but about that a little bit, I want to touch on something. TJ actually mentioned this on the show last night on the 50 Shades, and he was talking to Phil towards the end of the show about, because they put the throwback first episode of the Kings, like the very first, and he said something that I kind of agree with too, because I've been feeling this way too. It's like, as much as you will change in certain areas, you don't change that much. So I think, you know, one of the mistakes that I made was about that. Like, you know, I started telling my family, you know, that you know, that I might change, I might be going through these things, and, like, you know, and then it's like, sometimes you could scare people into thinking, like, and especially in the case of like a significant other, where they might think, like, what do you know, like, what do you mean you're going to change on me, or you're going to be a completely different person? And I think that, you know, on some there are certain things you do change, and then, you know, certain other things, you know, but there's no denying that you will go through this process, and you will come out differently than you went in.
oh, absolutely.
And to what degree that is really kind of, you know, based on, I think, your former life experiences and a lot of other factors. But, you know, and I think a lot of the changes are very, very positive, although other people may not feel them. You know, maybe you have more confidence, you know, maybe, you have a certain threshold of what you'll put up with after a certain amount of time. Like, once you realize how capable you are, because I think we've, you know, to some degree, we've all had to get to a certain level where, hey, we need this surgery. So that means there's obviously something lacking in us, so we feel flawed in some way, that we couldn't win the battle. Like, you know, this is all bullshit, of course. Like, we couldn't do it naturally, you know, like, you know, it's all bullshit. I mean, really, you just need help. I mean, that's it.
Right.
Ultimately, that's the bottom line. You need help, you need assistance, and reaching out for that is probably the most healthiest thing you can do in your life. You know, you're trying to save your own life. So, and I think we have a tendency to put up with a lot of things, and we don't focus on ourselves a lot. You know, sometimes we focus on other people, and we don't give ourselves the attention we deserve. And so this surgery kind of brings that in line and makes you focus on yourself, and makes you take care of yourself. So that may change certain things that, you know, you'll put up with now. Like, hey, I deserve to be treated a certain way, or I put myself first in ways that I never did before. So those things can definitely happen. So, but that being said, you don't know what's going to happen. So, you know, you don't want to be too, you don't want to scare the people around you either, and say, okay, I could be a completely different person, because in some ways you will change, and in other ways you won't. Like, you know, there's really no telling to what degree it's going to be until you go through the process. So,
no, and that makes a lot of sense. This surgery and this process, it does force you to be more introspective. You look at yourself more. You learn about yourself more, and you focus on yourself a lot more. That is couldn't be more true. So I think to that, it gives you a chance to really, you know, work on yourself, and that can include some changes. That doesn't mean that the surgery changed you. It's just a simple fact of you focusing on yourself and investing in yourself a little more is prompting these changes. I think it would happen regardless if you had the surgery, or if you really focused and really lost a lot of weight, and really kind of, you know, hammered down at the gym and really got into that. I think that would still warrant the same type of mental response and change afterwards that the surgery would. It's just another tool that gets you to that point to where you are working on yourself. So yeah, it's definitely not, it's not something to say, yes, this is going to change you.
you personally. To a degree, it will, but it's only going to change you to the point where you were already, I want to say, different people's personalities will prompt them to react differently in the post-op phase. So, that's not going to happen for everybody, but if the type of personality where, those kind of things will, cause you to react and act differently, then you're going to be prone to that anyway. So
Mom and Me is really cracking me up here.
Oh, it's on my Nancy Drew and everything.
Yeah, the Nancy Drew comment was really funny because she's talking about how much research she's been doing. And I think we can all relate to that, especially during the waiting game. That's like the biggest focus is research. And then, I got to the point where I felt like I could actually do the surgery on myself. Like I watched so many, the actual surgeries.
Right.
So I was like, you could really feel like, okay, I got this. And then when you get it, it's a different world. But, the research does not go to waste. I tell you that much.
No, definitely not. And that she was talking about, for the past 2 weeks, she's been trying to do everything to prep for that pre-op diet. And I know the pre-op diet's been different for a lot of people. Mine, I hated with a passion, especially that I had to do a 2-week pre-op. And that second week, oh my God, it was miserable because it was the same 3 flavors of shakes, one flavor of nasty vegetable protein soup, and then the same chocolate peanut butter nasty bland protein bar. It was the same stuff. There was no variation to it that I was able to have. Oh my God, I was so freaking tired of that.
It's pretty maddening. They gave me, when I first went to my first nutritionist appointment, they actually wanted me to jumpstart the situation and suggested these protein powders and put me on a 2-week liquid diet just to start. And yeah, it was like a revelation to me at the time because I had never had a protein shake in my life. I always thought that was for, lifters and whatever.
Sure.
Weightlifters. But anyway, so that experience was actually a really positive one in the beginning. But by the time it rolled around I had a 2-week as well, right before surgery, and I was losing my mind. By like day 4, I was like, "Well, I already did this for 2 weeks and it was fine. Like, why am I not? Like, I just can't take this. I don't know what it was." And it was maddening to me too. It wasn't the same experience the second time around. I got through it and I made the best out of it, and it's not only that, it's like, and then, so if you got 2 weeks going into surgery and then after coming out of surgery, you're talking at least another 2 weeks, before, you can even eat something again. So you're really right. You're liquidated out. I was, and Jim Haney will love this. I was doing the Isopure. Just to get by because I could not get the protein in to save my soul. There was nothing. I couldn't eat, and the protein shakes, like everything was like different consistencies. So Isopure, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but if you can find the flavor that you can live with, it can be a lifesaver, especially that first week post-op, because that I could hardly drink water. I was hardly keeping any water down. I would get a little bit in. I'm like, how on earth am I gonna? I was still, you're still drinking out of these little cups.
Little sip, man.
Yeah, it's like, it's crazy. So.
Yep. Oh, I'm with you. And Adam Sleeving just jumped in. Day 1 of pre-op diet today. This is tougher than I thought, and he's already saying this is tougher than I thought. Oh, dude, you're in day 1. Do you have like is it? I don't know if he has 2 weeks. Some people have had 3 weeks. And like you said, yeah, if it's anything beyond a week, oh man, that second week, to me it was more mental than anything because there was literally other than that bar that I could have, there was nothing else I could chew. And that's really what got to me was the chewing. I couldn't chew a lot. But for me at least, after when I got to post-op, eating the same stuff that I was already having the 2 weeks prior didn't bother me as much, just because I was in such a repair mode post from the surgery that it was like, I'll take, whatever I'll take whatever I can get at that point. So
and
that
also,
was definitely a rough.
Also, I'm just saying, after surgery, I mean, for me and you as well, your hunger level is like nil. So
yeah.
I have heard, there are a couple of people I've heard say they were still hungry right after surgery. That would be crazy to me. That would make me shoot myself in the head. But thankfully, at that point, like I was calling it Nosferatu. Like I felt undead. Like food meant nothing to me. For like honestly, for the first 2 weeks, I was like, "What is food? I don't care."
Yeah.
But I was just so concerned about getting in all the liquid, and then at the same time the protein. And so that's why Isopure, as crappy as it is, the numbers on that and the fact that it's a 1-2 punch with the liquid and the protein, it's for me it was absolutely necessary. So.
Yeah. Adam mentioned, and I want to weigh in on this real quick because, before I jump into that, Mom and Me VSG, she had mentioned on top of this, she's also trying to quit smoking.
Oh, wow.
So,
oh my God.
Good on you on that one.
Yeah, really good on you, because that was one of the best things I ever did was quitting smoking.
Yeah, and Adam asked, he asked if we did Bariatric Advantage shakes, and that's what I did. Yeah, I know, Angie, I'm yawning. I'm but Adam asked about the Bariatric Advantage, and that's what I had during my pre-op. It was all Bariatric Advantage. I had 3 flavors. I had vanilla. I had it was like a mocha or a cappuccino or coffee, something like that. And then the third one, which I wish I tried ahead of time and I would have gotten more, was the orange cream. That was probably my only saving grace. That was the first bag that I went through before the other ones, because that one actually was really, really good. And he has to go through. He had just mentioned 2 weeks, so if day one's weighing on you, Godspeed on the next 13 days, dude. So that's not going to be fun at all. It's rough.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, Adam, but you will. I mean, you do start to get to a point, like any form of, like, eventually you'll be like, by like day 13, you may want to shoot yourself in the face. But somewhere around day 5, you might feel like, oh, I'm okay. I could do this.
Now, what I will say, what did help me along the way during that whole period was the fact that in 2 weeks I lost 48 pounds. So when you step on the scale after that first week and you see how much you drop, if you stick to it the way you're supposed to, yeah, you'll be like, oh shit, I'm gonna keep on going.
Yeah, that helped. That is a benefit. It's a nice little feature.
Yeah. Let's see. Tamara Meza Lopez. Today is my 5th 5-month appointment. My final 6 month is June 2nd from Southern Indiana. Welcome. And so she's almost it seems like she's probably has a 6 month pre-op phase as well for insurance.
TJ is weighing in. Dude, listen, you gotta let me call Jay. I want to call him. Oh, it's so funny. Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, I'm sorry. Our lawyers are talking to your lawyers. We're not allowed to say 50 cents. Oh, I didn't know.
Oh, at least TJ's at least working at McDonald's. I don't have a job to save my life right now, so.
You gotta film that first date with Jay. I really want to see where you guys go. It's so funny. Good shit. Oh, Kim Can Do It is here. What's up, Kim?
I joined late. I was on liquid pre-op diet during she was on her pre-op liquid diet during Thanksgiving and then still on liquid at Christmas. New Year's, she could have 1 shrimp. I bet. Oh my God! I bet that shrimp tasted fucking awesome though.
Was that Bubba Gump shrimp? So I just want to wish you all the best, Adam Sleeving. Good luck with that pre-op diet, man. You hang in there. It's not as horrible as it seems, but think about just keep focusing on what's going to happen to you and how good things are going to get for you. So It's tough, but you can do it.
Yeah, at TJ, it's at 1:30. Well, 1 hour and 30, or an hour 40 when I jumped in. He called several times during the show. That shit was hilarious.
That is must-see TV, guys. That is really, it's really good shit.
Oh, Jim's finally joining in on ISO Puke.
He would gag a maggot. I don't remember the flavors I had. If you watch my, I think it was my first week video. If anybody's pre-op, I will shamelessly plug, because that was one video that I wanted to try to actually like do something where, okay, if you're going to be coming out of post-op, here's what you might want to try. And I recommended a couple of flavors of Isopure in there. I don't remember what the hell they were. It was like the green one, the blue one. I don't remember what they were, but it's there if you want to watch it for whatever it's worth.
I have actually, I've had to switch a little bit because I can't find anywhere, at least yet, to get Quest bars. So Jim's second favorite. But what I have been having, and I was introduced to these when Erica would hang out with us over the when we were still living back in Northern Virginia. Which, by the way, Erica, hope everything goes well, because I know she's going through a really hard time with her stomach right now. She was at the hospital all day, so. Yeah, hope everything goes well. Hope to hear from her soon on how everything's going there. But she had introduced me to Power Crunch bars.
They are good.
I'd never tried them before, but thankfully, because right now the nearest place for me to go as far as shopping at all is Walmart, and the Walmart here does have a good selection of the Power Crunch bars. And those are pretty damn good too, so I'll take
them. Power Crunch bars are good, and they're way cheaper than a Quest bar.
They are a hell of a lot cheaper than Quest bars.
I mean, the numbers, look, Quest bar is the gold standard as far as numbers go. I mean, they got the fiber going for it. There's a lot of good things going on in the Quest bar. If you can handle the sugar alcohols, if you have a problem with sugar alcohols, you might have a problem with the Quest bars. Right. And some people don't even like the way Quest bars taste. So, but whatever. But Quest bars are expensive. Let's face it.
Well, Mom and Me just pointed out. Yeah, that's probably what I'm going to start doing, is getting them on Amazon and just having them ordered, because for me it doesn't get any better than Oreo, because that is
the Oreo
so good, so good. But
good times.
The Power Crunch. Power Crunch has a triple chocolate bar. Holy hell, it's really good.
Yeah, it's really, really good. And the other one I got into when I bought it at the airport on the way to San Diego was a Pure Protein.
Those are pretty good too.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I mean, flavor-wise, I think it was like a peanut butter and chocolate one or something like that. I don't remember what it was, but it was good.
Yeah, you can find those. I found those at Walmart too, and those are pretty good too. Those are still a hell of a lot cheaper than Quest bars. So
good times.
But yeah, let's see here. Now, of course, TJ and Jim are comparing the price of bull sperm. So
they're calling the Isopuke bull sperm.
Mom and Me, I did see a few things where you can turn Quest bars into different recipes, like bake them into cookies and desserts and all that stuff. I haven't done that myself. Yes, I know what you're talking about, Mom and Me.
not the bull sperm. Bull sperm cookies sounds really good.
Oh Lord.
We should send a case of bull sperm cookies to Jay's Auto.
Get on the recipe, TJ. But yeah, those are pretty good.
That was like the scene in Van Wilder. We could send him like the cannoli or whatever it was.
Oh my God, I've had these before.
We got to send a case of those to Jay's Auto. Oh my God.
And then after, of course, after you get through the bottom of it, you see the pictures of, where it came from.
Exactly. Was it the dog or the horse? What was it?
It was the dog. It was the
dog.
In Van Wilder, he had massive balls. So, yeah.
Oh, good times.
Speaking of funny movies, I had you watch it while we were sitting getting ready for the show. There's a new vacation movie coming out, and they National Lampoon's Vacation. They're rebooting it, and they just put out a trailer. I'll probably go see it.
They're going back to Wally World.
That's right.
World. Who's the moosiest moose? It's awesome. Yeah, it looks funny. Anytime if Charlie Day is in it, I have to watch it because I'm a huge Charlie Day fan.
Oh yeah.
But Ed Helms, Hangover, and Office. Ed Helms.
Well, he also did. What was the one he did with Jennifer Aniston? Was that? Yeah, that was. Oh no! Oh, he was in it. We're the Millers.
Right.
He played the guy asking for all the weed. So
yeah, and Christina Applegate is in it too. So it looks like a good reboot. It looks cute.
I agree. Kim, I can guarantee you, our show will not be longer than 50 Shades was last night. That will not happen. It is way too dark. I'm outside, and I've got too many damn flies buzzing around me. So unless I want to get eaten alive, so.
Yeah, they set the record. I think that's going to stand for a long time. 4-hour show. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah, 340. Good Lord, yeah, something crazy like that. It
reminded me of the telethon, the Jerry Lewis, the MS telethon.
Yep.
Oh, it was good.
That was too damn funny. Oh, Mom, you're welcome, Mom and me. You guys are right. You guys made my night. Well, thank you very much. Glad we could help. She just saw the trailer too for the movie, which the trailer's pretty damn funny. So
yeah, it was cool. We had a lot of new faces tonight, so that's cool. And if anybody wants to ask us any questions, I know you can reach me on Facebook. If you really, if you got some issues about the process, always reach out to me.
Yeah. So you're
VSG Walt.
Yeah, VSG Walter, right?
VSG Walt. Yeah, on Facebook.
Oh, is it Facebook? Okay, or is it that your name is Walter B. Sleeved, isn't it?
Yeah. You can look me up as Walter B. Sleeved. Yeah,
Walter B. Sleeved. I'm on there. I'm on there as Andrew VSG Spike. So if you just type that VSG Spike, all one word. And yeah, and Walt, I think Jim's still on here. I might as well promote it while Jim's listening. I started a new channel, which with me, I'm not having it. I'm not having one now, but I normally have a beer every Thursday, but I have a beer-centric channel, which I will, if anybody's interested, message me, and I'll probably post something about it at some point. But Mom and me, yes, we do this every Thursday night, 8 o'clock, unless things change. So, Jim, if I wanted to spend $2.99 on a Quest bar that tasted like ass and Oreo, I'll give my nephew a whole box of Oreos and wait till he fills his diaper. That box of Oreos is only $2.50.
So he hates Quest bars too?
He hates. So you know what? If Jim wants to hang with us when we go out for a little, beer tour while we're out at OH, we need to make him have a Quest bar and wash it down with an Isopure.
Oh yeah. If he loses a bet, he's going to be screwed.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. He's hating too much. Exactly, Christy. Jim's got to stop hating. So.
Oh, Christy's here too. And what's going on, Christy? How you doing?
So yeah, we got a few, like I said, a few newbies, which was awesome. Good to have them. Well, like I said, that's kind of what we're hoping to do with the series here. We'll do a few more coming up in the next couple of weeks. So, but okay, I'm glad I thought of this. This is what I got sidetracked on. So, VSG Pontito Bear, how far away does he live from you?
Oh, he's like 3 blocks away from me.
Dude, you got to get him on the show one time. Have him come down, hang out with you.
No, I know.
So the two of you, and it's me on here and you two on there. That would be fucking hilarious.
Yeah, we got to do it one of these days for sure. I keep getting, because we've got all these stories to tell, and we've been waiting to get it together. So. We'll be doing that soon. Yeah, we might come on. Like I might do an update, and like he'll have him on, and it'll be pretty funny. He's a great dude. Marvin's a good guy. I mean, we've been friends forever.
Awesome.
Yeah, we've been friends for a long time. So, and I'm hoping he sees this, and I'm because I'm rooting for him, and I have nothing but love for him, and I'm really excited for him. But he had some issues, like now I think they told him that he has diabetes. I don't know what stage he's at, like if it's just like, but I'm pretty sure he's got going that, and he's had some other health issues going on with blood clots. So I'm worried about him, but he's making it happen. So I'm very proud of him, and I'm happy for him. So
exactly,
it's really cool to have a close friend like that, like and you've been through the process, so it's a kind of cool thing.
Oh, I agree. And for those who haven't checked it out, TJ just linked it, put in a little / in the space but he just linked. I pulled it up real quick. It was the old Fat Kings video, where it's the interview where he talks about Oreo and the guy starts.
Oh my God, that's one of my favorite videos.
that's amazing. That's so well done. So
that was good.
But Jim, yes, it is a beer centric channel that I have put together. So I'll message you the channel. I've only posted a couple of quick videos on it so far, but yeah, I'll send that out to you. But yeah, that video TJ did. Oh my God! And they specifically talk about the Oreo Quest bars.
That's a classic.
That is so good. Christy, she says, I'm late, but here. Good. Nice to see you, fellows. Good to see you, too. So, yeah, it was a good, like I said, we've got a few new people. And, yeah, feel free to send us a friend request on Facebook, or send us a message if you have any questions on it. So, and I think I'm going to probably start closing up shop here before I get eaten alive by all the damn bugs that are out here. So, I'm going to have to figure out a new location where I'm inside, so it doesn't turn into Blair Witch behind me. So
we'll get you a mosquito net. You'll be fine.
Oh, right. What Mom and me just said real quick though before we go, what websites would you recommend for newbies?
Tube galore. Oh no.
Oh, Spark People, MyFitnessPal. Well, MyFitnessPal is good if you want something to help track. I mean, but that's really, if that's something that you find that's going to be useful for you, then by all means, absolutely. I use it. It's good to track. It's good to help track your liquids and track all of your nutrition. That's another. Yeah, that's a good one too, TJ. But yeah, Tamara, we'll put our links for our Facebook pages. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll do that later on.
Okay. Yeah.
I usually do it, so it's usually in the description.
Okay. Yeah. So once our video pops up here, just go back to the channel and see the video, and it'll be down in the description below. So actually, let me see if Phil will do it. Hold on. I'm gonna try something here real quick. Will this work? Okay. Just like what TJ did. Just like what TJ did. Put a forward slash in where the space is, and that's that takes you to my channel, my page. And I'll put Walter's up here while I'm thinking about it. There's that. There you go. And there's Walter's. So.
Yeah, and I'll put it into the description later.
Oh yeah, and the YouTube. I'm telling you, YouTube is amazing. Yeah, that's such a great tool as well, with everybody posting updates. Walter usually posts his updates on Thursdays, and my updates are usually on usually sometime over the weekend. So usually Sundays, if not Mondays.
Yeah, mine are usually
when I try to get my updates up.
Wednesday or Thursday for me, but I missed.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you do usually have them Wednesdays before 50 Shades goes on. That's right.
Yeah, I waited this week because I wanted to do it today because it was the 1 year for my first nutritionist visit today, but I wound up not even making the video. But I'll make one in the next couple of days for sure, because I know everyone's just dying to find out what's going on.
Right.
Yeah, so I will do that. Definitely. For my public. My public needs me.
For your peeps, man. You got to do it for the people.
All right, guys. So I guess that's going to be it for tonight, right?
Yeah, I think that's about it. We'll be back next Thursday. We'll come up with a topic, or, hell, maybe if we can maybe if we want to get a guest on. I feel, we'll probably do that here at some point, get somebody on here soon.
I have a guest in mind. Jay from Jay's Auto. If we can get Jay. If we can get Jay on this show.
DJ said that he's going to be on Naked Truth this week, so shameless.
Yeah, I already plugged you, brother. Already plugged you. See, because that's the kind of guy I am. Yeah, but definitely check out the Naked Truth. You got, it's endless. You got TJ, you got Lace, And you got the real Share Bear, who is a doll, and Mandy Revised Army Housewife, Army Wife of Army.
Yeah, Revised Army Wife, I think it is.
Yeah, so that should be fun, as always. And hopefully, if you're lucky, Jay will call in. And,
That's what we're hoping.
yeah, we got to try to land Jay as a guest on the Kings.
Oh my God, that would be a friggin' riot.
I'm going to have my people call his people. All right, gang. So I guess that's a wrap for tonight, right?
Yeah,
Well,
sounds about right.
Thanks for tuning in, people. That was a lot of fun. So want to take us out, Andrew?
Sure. Hail to the Kings, baby.